Hello, welcome back. So, in today's video, I wanted to kind of do a really short one, and I wanted to mostly talk about the objection. I need to think about it. And the reason you get that objection, I'll explain the logic behind it after obviously showing the two different paths that you can take. It's not really an objection, you see. It's a smokescreen to the real objection, which is often price, time, or not understanding, not having enough information. So if I write those out, it's either price, so let's do a dollar sign. It's either time, or, right, in a lot of cases, it's trust, right? I'm just going to put a sad face. The potential patient doesn't trust you, okay? Now, this one isn't personal. It's not that they don't trust you. It's that they don't trust the treatment or the process. So it tends to be because they don't have enough information that they're in this position. So these are the three real objections. These right here. The three real objections. People say, I need to think about it, when they actually need to think about, wow, this is so expensive. Or how long is this going to really take? Or do I want, to go forward with this treatment with this dentist? Or do I want to keep looking and find someone else? So what you want to find is the real objection. And the way to do that is by going and taking the path that is the I need to think about it path. So you'll often get this at the end of the consultation when you've given them the treatment plan and you might have just revealed the price, you might have revealed how long it takes, etc., etc. But it tends to be at the end of the consultation. Now, there are two paths you can take. You can take the that's absolutely fine path, or you can go down the route of actually handling the objection. So what you want to make sure is that you don't take the that's absolutely fine path. And if you have, I'm sure you realize that 9 times out of 10, that person doesn't come back, do they? That person doesn't book the appointment. They don't end up coming back to see you. That's it. You let them think about it because you let them leave with one of these objections in mind. And that's not what you want. You want to be the person helping them. It's your moral obligation to help them. And by saying that's absolutely fine, you can go ahead and think about it. What you're saying is, that's fine. Don't make the decision. I won't be able to help you. Now, I've jumped a few bridges there to get to there, but you can see why saying that's absolutely fine is simply getting rid of the responsibility that you have to help this person and letting them walk away, which is not what you want to do. So that's absolutely fine. It isn't actually handling the objection, and it's not letting them think about it. It's simply just letting them think about these things, not the treatment, but how much the treatment costs, how much time the treatment's going to take, or how they might not want you to be the dentist to go forward with the treatment. Now, if you were to do the opposite, which is saying, I completely understand that you need to think about it, what exactly do you need to think about? What you're doing here is unmasking the objection, okay? Because we agree that the objection is simply just a smokescreen, right? So when you're handling the objection, you want to make sure, let me get my pen again. You want to make sure that you are handling the objection correctly, and that is getting them to admit one of these two things. Okay? So once they admit that, then it tends to be really simple on trying to help them. Because guess what? You've done what you need to do. You've made sure that when you handle the objection, you're handling the real objection. So I'm going to repeat it one more time. I completely understand that you need to think about it. What exactly do you need to think about? And then they'll admit, oh, I'm finding that the treatment's quite expensive. I don't know if I'll be able to pay for that, to be honest, right now. And that's perfect, because guess what? Then you can handle a specific objection about pricing. That is completely fine. I completely understand that, we are living through a cost of living crisis, but we do have a 0% 100% finance plan, and we can split it up with each appointment. That way you're actually not paying a substantial amount every time we see each other. They might say, oh, but it's going to take a lot of time. I don't know if I can take time off work, etc., etc. Then you can handle that objection specifically, right? Say, oh, that's absolutely fine. Look, worst case scenario, I can stay an extra half an hour after both our job ends and we can kind of get this treatment going after work. Or if they don't trust you, they might say something like, and this, again, is often going to be a smokescreen for these two. It's not very often that the person doesn't trust you or doesn't see you as the expert. But what they'll say here is they'll either repeat, oh, I just really, really need to think about it. I'm not too sure about going forward. What you can then ask is there anything I might have missed out on explaining that you might have a question about that I can explain to you now? And then you can go ahead, explain any missing information, anything that was bothering them that they didn't understand. And that's generally how you do it. That's how you go forward with it. I need to think about it. Objection. It's actually quite simple once you realize that it's mostly just a smokescreen. And saying that's absolutely fine is the opposite of what you want to say. Because 9 times out of 10, they don't show up. When you can handle the objection while they're at your chair, guess what? They'll most likely book the appointment. They'll most likely go forward with the treatment because you've been able to help them and share with them the ideas that you have. So that's it. Hope it's helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.